Hi everyone, welcome to this session of the ADDS course. Today we're going to be discussing some elements of practical blockchain. So my colleague Shinam Arora will be talking to you and showing you how you can create a token, starting with an OpenZeppelin contracts wizard, and then how it can be actually published onto the blockchain. Shinam, would you like to start?
Yeah. Hi guys. So I'll start with the first Ethereum basic contract. Now there are three types of smart contracts that we're going to be seeing here on the screen. Can you see here? ERC20, ERC721, ERC1155. So this one is for the smart contract, which we are going to be using it, demonstrating it today, which is for creating your own custom token. These two are for non-fungible tokens, which is basically the NFT. So 721 was launched earlier, and then there were some issues with that, and that's when they launched the upgraded version. We'll start with ERC 720. Now, this can be done using, people usually, when people are launching their own tokens, they're doing all the programming part, all hands-on. Right now, we are using something called OpenZeppelin. OpenZeppelin provides us the libraries which they have built already, and we just here will import those libraries and we'll call the functions. So these are all functions that are already defined in those libraries.
Can I add something here? So yeah. One advantage of using an OpenZeppelin rather than trying to write your own from the base is that these have been made by a community of experts. So a lot of the security and other issues have been handled pretty well. So if you're new to smart contracts, it's better to just use a contract wizard like this. And of course, if you have more customization to be done, naturally, then you would need to use your own smart contract. But I think for most people, this is a great way to get going.
Yeah. So here it's all customization. So for example, the name of the token that you want to keep. So I, for example, here has written ADDS. So see, whatever changes I'm making here in the left-hand side of the settings, all the changes are reflecting in this black window on the right-hand side here. So here I've put the symbol as also. Now here comes the pre-mint. Pre-mint means the initial quantity that you want to start with. So here I've already put 100,000. You can choose whichever quantity you want. Now here on the same point, if you look, it's 100,000 into 10. So these are the decimal places that token would be split into. So 0.00000009 zeros, and then last one will also have some value. So that means the decimal places. You can, it is your choice if you would want to change this. Now comes the features. There are different kinds of features. For example, right now I've unchecked everything. So this is the base code that you see in the black window. This is the basic code for a smart contract. Now I can choose to add different features, which in this case I'm referring to as functions. Mintable. So what happens is pre-mint, we've decided that this is the quantity that we want to launch the token with. After that, if we want to add some more tokens in future, that time we will click on mintable. Yes. Now burnable.
Can I just add something here?
Sure.
So to take an example, when we look at a crypto like Bitcoin, it started with 0, and then every block, a certain number of new cryptos are created. And then there are, tokens like, for example, the basic attention token, where on day one itself, a certain number are created. For example, Binance coin, I think, started with 200 million. So there are different philosophies or, tokenomics that projects have. So depending upon what you're trying to create, you would create a crypto which starts with 0 or starts with a certain number already issued. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Next is burnable. So what happens is to maintain the token value, sometimes people who have started the token, the companies, they burn some tokens. That means they send it to an address which is not recoverable. So do you want that to happen? Yes, then it's burnable. So here, if you see, every time I'm clicking on a checkbox, a new function is getting added here. Then it's possible. So
I'll just add something here. So the classic example of burnable would be Binance coin. So when they started with the ICO in the white paper, they said there would be 200 million tokens, and every quarter or every 3 months, they would burn tokens till they are finally left with 100 million. And if you are familiar with the stock market, then there is a concept there called buyback of shares. where a company can buy back its own shares and destroy them, thereby reducing the number of shares and increasing the price in the market. So burnable tokens is very, very similar to that concept, where a blockchain or a crypto or a group of people can buy back the tokens, destroy them, thereby reducing the circulating supply in the market and increasing the price. Thanks.
Yeah. Next is pausable. What if you want to pause? Right now, for example, the minting and the entire algorithm is happening on a blockchain. What if for some reason you want to stop it in between? That means you would want to add this function called pausable. Then it's permission. So if you, in case of any doubt, you can just click on this question mark here. It will describe you in brief also that what is this permission for. So here, this one is for without paying gas fee, which is the transfer fee. Token holders would be able to allow third parties to transfer from their account. So if you want to third party services without paying the gas fee, then you click on permit. Then the voting system. So for example, how many tokens do I hold? Based on that, do I have a permission to vote? That will be decided by if you click on it here. Now flash minting, snapshot, these are basic features. So flash minting is it gives you instant loans. So instantly you'll be able to mint some tokens of yours. Then snapshot. Now here we'll click all the options here for the time being. We will not click on transparent and UUPS. This option is, as this feature is here, is not available for the ERC token. We are not able to use it. Now, everything is done. We need to execute this smart contract. Now, this is just few lines of code. We need to execute. For that, we need some intermediary development environment. Here, we will use something called Remix. Now, I have already have it open. So yeah. We click on this. So it will open into Remix as an integrated development environment, which will be connected to your wallet. In this case, we would be using something called a Metamask wallet. Now I will show you some basic features of Metamask wallet. Just let me know if you can see Metamask wallet on my screen right now.
No, I can see only Remix. I think Metamask is opening. Something I'd like to clarify here. The reason we have to connect our wallet is because when we are pushing this smart contract onto a blockchain, there is going to be some gas fee, which is going to be charged. Now, how do we pay that? That is going to be in the native token. And as you know, in the Web3 world, almost everything that we do happens through wallets rather than through username passwords. So instead of going to each site and creating a login, you hold your tokens in a browser-based wallet like Metamask, for example. And then whenever you're trying to do something, then whatever sites you open in your browser are able to connect to your Metamask and then do the transaction. Of course, you have to give the approval for that. However, there is one problem also in this approach, which you may have noticed very recently. Because of this whole Russia-Ukraine war, the US has imposed sanctions on Russia. Now, what happened because of that is, Metamask, which is the wallet which is in your browser, uses Infura API at the backend. Infura now blocked their APIs for people of certain countries, like Russia, for example. And by mistake, they also blocked Venezuela. So automatically, Metamask also ended up getting blocked for people from Venezuela. And obviously, now that creates a lot of questions that blockchains are supposed to be decentralized. So what I'd like to clarify here, it is not like Ethereum got sanctioned or Ethereum did anything, nor did actually Metamask. It is the API service provider which did it. But those are the kind of problems that do exist. And depending upon the solution you're building or the countries in which your solution is going to be used, you are now going to have to figure out what is the best way of doing it. Now, I've always been a big fan of API services, but this example has shown to us that sometimes your API could end up breaking your application because of a very unrelated reason. We're just seeing the thing going round in Remix.
Yeah, because I'm running, I think, 10 programs on my Mac, so it just becomes like this. In the meanwhile, I'll show Metamask.
Sure.
Yeah, so can you see Metamask?
Well, we can see a white box. Yeah, okay, a Remix ID now shows.
Yeah, so what we do is Metamask is that it's a wallet, just like we mentioned. So here we can have multiple networks also we can add. Instead of using Ethereum mainnet, because Ethereum mainnet means the actual Ether that you would have would be connected to IDE. Right now, we're only using it for demonstration purposes. So we would use something called a test network. By default, when you install Metamask, you would have these test networks installed. So we are going to be using Roopston test network. And if you see this 4.1806 Ether, this is in test network. I don't own that much Ether right now in this MetaMask wallet.
But do you own them outside of the wallet? Or you don't want to tell us that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here in this case, you have something, you can get these test ether. So if you search on Google, get test ether for Hoopston test network, you will find lots of websites.
Yeah, they're faucets which give you free tokens.
These are
just
fake.
remember, these are not real ETH. They only work on the test net. They're not actually worth anything. But for practice and trial, you would need them.
If you try transferring it to some other account, it will not happen because here it's clearly mentioned it's a test network. Now, as my Remix IDE is connected to MetaMask wallet. So, for example, when we clicked on open in Remix ID, this is how the contract has opened up. Okay, here also you can make some changes. It's not that you can't make changes here. Now we need to compile. That is the first step. So if you see, can you read Pragma Solidity 0.8.4? So this is the compiler version which is mentioned here. From this drop down, we will select the same compiler version, because sometimes what happens is if I'm using 0.8.4 is mentioned here, and by mistake, if I'm using 0.8.7, so there are some functions which are not, which they just do not run, and it will give you error. So it's preferable that you use the same compiler version. Then Solidity auto compile, yes. Then we click on, so it's right now compiling. We'll click on it as and when the option gets enabled.
Those of you who are on live watching it, please feel free to post your questions as and when you have them.
So now we'll click on compile. When the compilation is complete, you will see a green tick here instead of the blue circle.
I think your net is slow. That's why it must be taking so much time.
No, it's not net slow. It's just, it takes little time for processing.
Oh, okay.
Because right now I'm running I'm trying to run that D app also. So for that, I tried installing something called Xcode on my.
Okay, sure.
That's it. Yeah. So compilation is done. Now we will come to deployment part. So here we will select, there's a drop down. We will select the environment injected web3 for executing this ERC20 contract. And see automatically, can you see Hoopston 3 network? It's already selected that we are on Hoopston network. So this is the account. So when you're doing it for the first time, you would want to link your MetaMask wallet account. For that, you'll click on plus, and automatically MetaMask will give you a pop-up that this site wants to use your MetaMask address. You just have to click on approve. Now this is the gas limit. Just advisable thing is just leave it just the way it is, because if you try and reduce it and gas fee, if it is not acceptable, the contract would not execute. Now from here, we will select ERC20. And then last thing that we need to do is deploy. It's this only, right? Yeah. Now when it is creating it, it will give you another pop-up. Can you see number has come on the MetaMask wallet? The pop-up is that it wants to need to approve.
Yeah, we can't see the MetaMask wallet, but because that will come in a new tab, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it has come on new tab for the.
Can you just share your screen instead? I mean, the entire screen instead of sharing only the browser tab?
Yeah, sure. I'll do
Make
that.
sure you switch off your WhatsApp before that. Otherwise, we'll be able to see all your messages.
I know nothing much is there in my WhatsApp.
So Shinam is just going to be sharing our entire screen, because the pop-up that would have come wouldn't show up.
Can you see it right now?
Yeah, we can see it right now. Yes.
Can you see it is asking for a fee?
Right.
It's called contract deployment asked by Remix. And these are the details of the fee that it's asking, amount plus gas fee. When you click on confirm,
quite slow.
Oh, that's my laptop.
Yeah, your screen's vanished now. I can't see you. We can't see your screen anymore.
Oh, okay, 1 second. Sorry. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just approved the transaction, nothing else I've done. Now, if you see this here, can you see that the contract has been executed and you can see the deployed contract here as well as
Yes.
the transaction recorded?
We can see that.
Yeah. So here this is the contract address, which I'll just copy. I'll show you the drop down also.
There's a question from Gunjan, which says that why did we use the environment inject Web3 and not the other environments?
For executing ERC20 contract, that is a requirement. I mean,
so that must be provided somewhere in the documentation.
In the instruction set, it is provided that we are supposed to use the injected Web3 environment because they call this token NFT. It all comes in the Web3. So when you say Metamask needs to integrate it with Remix, it always called Web3 integration. This term is Web3.
Sure. Good. Okay, I hope that answered your question.
I will just copy the contract address. We'll go back again in Metamask. We'll go in here you can see assets and activity. We'll go in assets. These are the other test tokens that I was creating. I will click on import tokens. Now here I'll just mention the token address that we just executed.
So what Shinam is doing is that because we've created a new token, now we need to tell Metamask that there's such a token has been created, because it is not logical for Metamask to go and constantly scan the blockchain explorer and try to pick up every new contract that gets created. So we need to manually add that here at this step. So that's what she's doing. She's simply importing that token from the blockchain and telling her Metamask that such a token exists.
Because it automatically recognizes with the token address. So this is how the token has been created. So here it is. This one.
Oh, why do you keep the name ADD? Achha, okay, ADDS for the course. Okay.
Yeah, because it's a batch.
Sure.
So here I mentioned ADDS.
Sure. Can you also show to us on the ETH scan?
Yeah, sure.
So now that we've added it into our wallet, now we can also have a look at it on the blockchain explorer. Now, the only difference is this is in the test version, but everything looks the same. Whether you do it on the test or you do it on the live net, the importing it into MetaMask is also going to be the same way, and looking at it on the blockchain explorer is also going to be exactly the same. The only difference is we did not have to actually pay any transaction or gas fee when we did it on the test network.
I mean, we did pay the transaction fee, but from the faucet.
Faucet, so it wasn't like real money being used. So the best way to get a hang of it is just go to OpenZeppelin and create some of these tokens. I mean, very, very simple, and you can try all your experiments on that.
And for actually checking that whether the contract has been executed or not, there is a different test network. So if you see Etherscan, it's a Roopston Etherscan, which is basically specifically for testing environment. I will just paste the transaction address. Just pardon my computer. It's a little slow.
Sure. Just to clarify, what she's entered here is the transaction ID in which the smart contract is created, not her Ethereum address.
Yeah.
So MetaMask holds your Ethereum wallet, so your addresses are there. That's different. So if you enter that wallet address, it will not show you this.
It will show you the probably
all the transactions that you've done using that.
How much Ether do you have in it?
Yeah.
Here I mentioned this, so it says it's a contract, and if you can see the transaction which happened here, it says 4 minutes ago, and contract creation. So new contract was created, and you can see the ID is exactly matching from the contract address that I've just pasted here. It will show you the transaction fees also. Here you can see the transaction fees also. And it also shows from which address the token was created. So which is the address which owns that token and the symbol. So here you can see the address that this is my MetaMask address. And in which block this is on, that or block number is also mentioned here. Anybody has any questions about creating the smart contract? or the token?
Oh, no, somebody asked about the Zoom link. It's the same link as every session. So it's on the group. It's the same link. No other questions at this stage.
Okay. So now you can try and create your own custom smart contract. You can also try and creating your NFT and other things which are already provided in the OpenZeppelin UI. Now, we run something called, me and D run something called Hi-Fi blockchain. We have our network already set up. So if you would want to connect to our test net, I would need to log in into DigitalOcean account.
Maybe we can do that in the next session.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
No, I just wanted to.
Would you be able to show us SolMinter? Or if you could just open it up, I'll briefly explain it.
Yeah, sure. I'll just open it.
So SolMinter is a very interesting platform for creating tokens on Solana.
Yeah.
Now, Solana is one of the newer platforms, although of course off late they have faced a lot of security issues.
Yeah,
but what we showed you earlier, where you're using OpenZeppelin and Remix, that was for creating on Binance, Ethereum, and some of those related blockchains. For Solana, you would need to use a different method, but it's actually much easier. So they have a platform called SolMinter, which makes it very easy to mint new tokens, and the transaction fee is also pretty low. Shin, would you be able to show it to us, or you need to actually log into your...
Just give me 1 second. I'm stopping the screen share so that I can add the password of my...
Sure. You don't want to show the world your password?
No. So I'll just enter my password of the Phantom wallet because it needs to be integrated to a different wallet.
Yeah, so that is another thing that all of you need to remember, that we've talked about 16 different blockchains, and it's very different working on them. It's not like all 16 are going to use the same platform or the same method of creation. So the most popular ones like Ethereum and Binance, they use what we just showed you. Solana, then she's just going to show you that because that requires a separate wallet, much easier to use. Then some of you may know that even on Bitcoin, you can actually create a lot of smart assets and so many other services because there are layer 2 solutions, there are merged mining blockchains which are there. So for that, then there's a whole different thing depending upon which platform we want to do that on. So maybe in a future session, we will try to cover that also. Another important thing to understand is that it is not necessary for you as a blockchain developer to know each and every platform like this, because what you could do is a much simpler approach is you could use an API service. So for example, Tatum is one API service for which there's a more detailed video, which is already part of your course. So what happens in that is Tatum has built a service where they have integrated with about 30 or 40 different blockchains. And it's the same way in which it operates. That means the API command is the same. You just keep changing the name of the blockchain in that. And automatically all the communication with the blockchain is done by Tatum. So the benefit of that is tomorrow inside your code, if you want to change which blockchain you are working with, you just need to make very slight changes and your application is working again. If you make your entire dApp on one blockchain and something goes wrong and you want to change, you have to rewrite all your code. But if you use API, it's much simpler. So I would strongly recommend that you guys try out Tatum also. First, of course, try what we just showed you, and then you could try out Tatum and other API services. If you have questions, just post them. Or even if you're watching the video later, just post your question. Shinam, are you ready to show that to us?
Yeah, just my wallet is 1 second. I'll start the screen share.
Sure. We can see your screen.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Phantom wallet to get connected.
Sure. Yep, we can see it.
Yeah. I'll just need to refresh the SolMinter. It's still saying connecting.
Mhm.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can see that. So as you can see, these are some of the what other tokens that you've created in the past.
Yeah, these are the
Awesome.
tokens that I've created in the past.
Sure.
So here you can just click on create a new token.
Shivam, you really need to clean out your computer soon. It's super slow.
No, actually, it's not that slow. I'm telling you that I was working on that DApp. So I
Sure, I
installed,
think you need to, after you finish that, you need to totally clean it out.
but for experimentation, I need to install sometimes. So that is why it has become like that for quite some time now. But tech people have these issues, I guess. Okay. I'm trying.
Sure.
Instead of creating a probably I'll try again. Can you try and open this in your browser? I'll just share the password with you in the.
Let's just give it a few more seconds. If it doesn't work on yours, we're gonna have to.
It is working. It's just taking time.
Just those of you who are watching, just give us a couple of minutes. If it works, great. Otherwise,
Sorry, not an excuse, but I do a lot of tech work on this. So it has a lot of programs running right now.
nope. Okay, no problem. If it's not working, we could probably do that in the next session. And what I could do in the meanwhile is,
Otherwise, yeah, it's open now.
It's open. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and again, it's time for refreshing. So yeah, in this also is a UI-based system. So here you don't even need to copy paste the code and run it on any integrated development environment. Here it's so basically SolMinter takes care of doing everything. You just need to have enough Sol in your wallet. For this purpose here, there are multiple wallets of Solana that you can use for this example. And usually I prefer using Phantom wallet. So whatever Sol that you have in your Phantom wallet will be shown here. And when you click on create a new token, the form will open up here. So here you can say transaction pay with Sol. You just select a token name. Let's say again, I'm using something called ETTS. I'm using the same symbol as ETTS. Now the mint authority and freeze authority are given to the account. This is the address which it has taken directly. See, I can't edit this address because the address has been taken from the Web3 authentication that we have done using Phantom wallet. So whichever is the Phantom wallet address is there, it's the owner address. Now, how much decimal places that you want the token to be created. So you select, let's say, 1 second, I need to put this down. Let's say 5. 4, let's say 4. Click on create token. Then second step, another form will open up, which will ask for some more information, which I hope it will open up.
In the meanwhile, let me just answer a couple of questions. So someone has asked about the Tatum link here. I'll post that. It's in the same playlist, the Tatum video, but I'll post that on the group. Can we connect SolMinter to Metamask wallet, or do we need to use another wallet? No, you can't connect to Metamask because Metamask doesn't support the Solana blockchain. It supports a bunch of blockchains, but not Solana.
But Binance.
Yeah, it supports Binance and Ethereum and all, but not this one. So what are we using? We're using the Phantom wallet, right?
Yeah, we're using the Phantom.
That's with the PHANTUM.
Yeah. So for Tron, I have this Tron wallet.
Could you just confirm the spelling of Phantom wallet?
PHANTOM.
Yeah, because there is a separate blockchain called as the phantom blockchain, but that's with an F.
Yeah,
so that's different. This is different. This is with a P. So you have to use a separate wallet for that.
So for Binance, executing a smart contract on Binance Smart Chain, we do use something called Remix ID. Oh, this contract cannot be executed because there's insufficient balance in my wallet, and I'm not using a testnet. And if you want for demonstration purpose, I can actually try and put in some Sol and probably make a video of how contract is executed on Solana.
Yeah, sure, that would be a good idea. I mean, later maybe, but anyway, the process she's just shown you.
Process is the same. It's just that here I don't have a test network, so I don't have a faucet. I'll have to put real money, and I'll have to use real money for the demonstration purpose, which I can use it.
Solana is pretty cheap, so maybe you can make a separate one and show it later.
Yeah, I'll try to do that. If you can see the number of contracts, I've executed like 5-8 of them because it was like I was doing it as an experiment.
Sure. So yeah.
Sorry, come again. For Metamask can be used for Binance Smart Chain as well as for Ethereum. Here, when we're using Metamask, you can just need to add more networks. From the drop-down, couple of networks would already be there when you will install Metamask for the first time. The rest of the networks can be added by going into settings, and you will need to add some IP address and then some host address. Please do not take those information from any random site. Please take it from Binance official website, where they will give you the testnet address also, and for Binance mainnet also. You need to add those networks in the settings. You can do that.
Because otherwise you may end up with a phishing site which will give you the wrong details, and they could actually steal your tokens. So you need to be really careful when you are adding new networks here.
So here you can add multiple networks here, and Polygon also can be added here on MetaMask. So using Remix IDE, we can execute smart contracts on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon. Awesome. These are the three which are supported.
Awesome. So any questions, please post it on this video. And yeah, Shinam, thanks a lot. See you guys next week.